My lack of preparation cost me like $73 today. I went to a big comedy night in Melbourne. This massive comedian, his name is Zakir Khan, was coming to perform live, and me, my friend Harsh, and his sister and their dad were going to the show. These tickets were booked like over a year ago, so I only remembered last week when Harsh messaged me that we were going to the show, and it was at 7:30 today. And I didn't check the train times for when the show was going to be because I assumed, a train comes every 20 minutes. The show is at 7:30, so if I rock up to the station at maybe like say 6, hopefully I'll catch something by like 6:10. Worst comes, I'll catch something by 6:20. I'll be in the city by 7:05, and it's only a 5-minute walk. That was my mentality, but I didn't check the train times. Anyway, as a result of that, I get to the station, which I get to the station late because I can't find my wallet before I leave the house. And also, mom wanted to take a few photos because I was wearing these like traditional dresses called like a kurta. And I like never wear traditional stuff. I just don't like to wear a lot of like nice and fancy clothes. I'm very basic. So when I put that on, mom wanted to take some photos. So I eventually make it to the station, only to realize that buses were replacing trains. That trains didn't even exist. So that happens, and I'm like, shit. And just like at home, I didn't make the extra effort to actually map out my train times and everything because one, I couldn't be bothered, and two, I just was like, oh, I'd rather work for another 5-10 minutes and not do that, which is like so stupid. Um, Even when I was at the station, I saw the sign. I didn't really read it or process it in terms of what it actually said. I just saw that it said bus replacements. And usually, sometimes there's like bus replacements for say 5-6 stations, and then trains actually start. So I just assumed that was the case because that's what happened most of the times. So my mum drives me 5-6 stations further down my train line. I get to that station, and I go to catch the train, and I realize actually buses replace trains on every single station on this line for this entire day, and I was like shit. And as a result of that, I had to take an Uber to the city, which was a really really awkward Uber. I took an Uber like a normal one, not pool or anything, and I decided to sit in the front of the car, and just like the whole time I was thinking about things. Things were quite awkward with the dude, the driver. The driver was Indian from Punjab, and I am from Haryana, which is like very close to Punjab. So, low-key, I thought small talk would be easier and I'd be able to communicate and do all this sort of stuff, but it just wasn't. Anyway, I get to the city. I think that was like 34, 35, 36, something like that, dollar Uber. And then once the night finishes, I catch a Uber back home. This time I catch a Uber pool back home, because I think the Uber pool was like $7-8 cheaper. In hindsight, next time I'm just paying the $7-8 to just get like my own Uber home. Although I did want to try out Uber pool and see like what it was like because I'd obviously seen that option before on Uber but never tried it, never picked it. And yeah, in the end, I got home pretty late. Um, and yeah, ended up like using like ended up wasting basically 70-80 bucks on Ubers when all I had to do was spend 5 minutes looking at the trains. Because if I did, then I would have just driven to the city and maybe got some parking for 20 bucks. And also it would have been more fun than this like too stressful, not stressful, but just like unpleasant Uber rides I have. So the reason I'm telling you this is like this is more of a message to myself. Don't be lazy, especially when it comes to logistics. Actually check and plan things out because oftentimes the cost of not planning is always paid. It's just paid at a later date just because you don't plan, don't think about something, don't have that tough conversation, don't make that decision. It's not just that like you're not going to get away with it basically. Like even though you're getting away with not having that conversation, tough conversation right now, eventually you're going to have to pay. And usually the price is higher when paid later. So yeah, paid sooner, bro.